The Mark Jeffrey podcast is part of BritPod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritPodScene.com or follow BritPod Scene on Twitter to find out more.
Hello and welcome to this week's Mark Jeffrey podcast show, episode 39. My name is Mark with a cold. Very pleased to meet you if it's your first time. You can find me at Jaff10 on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. Find me by typing in the Mark Jeffrey podcast show on the old computer thingy. And thanks for downloading and streaming this week's episode. It is really nice to have you join me once again. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the show via Libsyn and iTunes. Alongside me in the studio this week is probably one of the best co-presenters in the world. Everybody, show and honour, bend down on your knees and give some respect to Sir Liam Cloak.
Thank you very much for that introduction.
Good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you what, mate, I'm feeling like utter crap. Can you hear?
You sound a bit hoarse there.
I'm sounding like a horse. Nay, I'm not. No, I've got this bloody cold, mate. I'll tell you. I went up to Longleat this weekend. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But all of a sudden, what was it, Saturday night, it was as if I'd been smashed over the face with a shovel.
Get it out of the way now, before Christmas.
Good God, man. It amazes me, what we know, 2017, you know, how many years have we cohabited this planet?
Well, at least 2017.
And we haven't sorted out nothing for the common cold yet.
Yeah, they will one day.
God, feeling like utter crap. So I wasn't going to do the podcast tonight because I was just like, I can't be bothered. But no, I got me gun and me rucksack on me back and me bayonet, and I thought, like a true Brit that we are, we will fight through it. And I know you yourself, didn't feel like coming out tonight, didn't play, did you?
Fairly tired after.
After what?
Well, after a day spent, and it's unusual for me, and it actually is. A Monday, I did pop out for a drink with a mate whose birthday it is, and it would seem rude not to.
Happy birthday, Jeffrey Austin.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jeff.
Fellow postie of ours. The longest serving postman in our office, is that right? How many years is it now?
Indeed, it's coming up to 35.
35 years delivering mail. I would not...
And he's still a young'un, really, you know.
Yeah.
Because you think, if you're coming up for 35 years, you've got to be retiring soon.
Imagine delivering post for 35 years. The changes that you would have seen. Changes. What a hellish busy day I've had. I mean, I know for you it's been all right. You know, sat down there sopping on the ales, but...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, this morning, first thing, I had to go to Ethan, my youngest. He's in nursery, and he had it was like a little play thing they were doing. I got down there, and because my sons go to a religious school, shall we say, a Church of England school, it's called Sir Robert Jeffreys here in Landrake. They've obviously it's got a churchy theme, like a.
I would hope so for a church school.
So they were giving out. I don't know if you've ever heard of anything like this, Liam, because I haven't. Because obviously I wasn't brought up in that sort of school. But they had a Kris Kringle. Do you know what that is?
Oh, do you mean Kris Dingle?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Do you know what is it?
With the orange and the candle.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, we used to do it, yeah.
I've never ever done it before.
Yeah.
What's it called? I thought it was a Kris Dingle.
Yeah, Kris Dingle, but not... It sounds like someone off Emmerdale.
It does, doesn't it?
But, yeah, a Kris Dingle. It's just with the orange is the world and the light is the candle, and it's a lot of the schools do it with the little kids and that, and you all sing your songs and all that. Yeah. It's quite a good little thing.
Yeah, so I went down there and saw that this morning. And then I had to come home and tidy the house because Nikki's gone absolutely crazy now. She's decided that she's just going to get everything done before Christmas in a mad rush. Well, you know, we had some work done in the dining room. We had a nice mantelpiece put up, and then tomorrow we've got these guys coming over to revamp our kitchen. Now, rather than putting a new kitchen in and spending like 14 grand on a amazing brand new kitchen, Nikki's decided to pay these guys like £1,000 nearly to come in and basically paint our kitchen units and revamp them up.
Do it up, yeah, but...
Sounds a lot, but I've seen some of the work they've done and it is really, really amazing.
Yeah,
mate.
That's good, mate.
So, of course, I've had to like move stuff around this morning, do that. And I had my friend Daryl come round this morning from JD Carpentry of Callington. Remember that?
I do remember.
And he came over and he would come to do some DIY skills. He's fitting us in some new loft hatches, which seems easy enough, but not in the world of Marc Jeffrey. It's going to have to be now. He came today to have a look at it all up and all that and measure it all up. It's going to be literally cutting out 3 new loft hatches because most people have like 1 loft hatch in their house. No, we've got frickin' 3.
3.
So he's going to come and put us in some new loft hatches. So yeah, this today has been very, very, very busy. I wasn't, like I say, I wasn't going to do the podcast tonight because I've just this minute come back from Plymouth, the ski slope centre.
Okay.
Zach's in the Beavers, and I took him. He went snow tubing. Have you ever done that before?
I haven't, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. So it was the Beavers thing, doing that. Beavers is like, for the people that don't know what Beavers is, it's part of the Cub Scouts. It's the bit that you do before Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
So he went and done their snow tubing evening, and then I just jumped in the car, picked you up, and we have got here.
We've got a lift off.
Yeah. Have you had a busy week, mate? Have you been up to much?
Not really. Just the usual.
Yeah.
This and that. Yeah. Work obviously getting a lot busier now.
Well, that was what I was going to ask.
Oh, God.
Because it's been my long weekend, isn't it? And you was obviously not in today, but was you in Saturday?
I was in Saturday.
What was that like?
Busy. Yeah. No, it wasn't terrible, but it obviously the work we're in, there's a lot of parcels, a lot of letters, especially this time of year. It's getting very, very busy.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It is, which is good for our job and also bad for our job at the same time.
If it is your first time of tuning into the Marc Jeffrey podcast show, I welcome you. But me and Liam are both postmen in the UK. We work for Royal Mail, delivering all those letters and parcels and stuff. And it this time of year, Liam, you do actually feel like Santa's elf, don't you?
Well, that's the strange thing. Whenever people say, "Oh, you must hate Christmas," actually, it's one of the only jobs where you get a time of the year which is just set up for your job, isn't it, really? And Christmas is our busiest because that's what we're there to do, isn't it? And presents and things like that.
Can you remember, was it last year or the year before, Royal Mail had the advert on the telly saying, Royal Mail, we love parcels?
I do remember it. I haven't seen it since.
Does anybody actually know whose bright idea that was to come up with that theme?
I don't know.
Because I'd like to murder the bloke. I do not like parcels. I hate parcels.
Oh, it keeps us going. I order enough of them, to be fair.
Yeah, so I've been... What I have noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed, working in the industry that we do, is as soon as it is December the 1st, it's almost as if people say that weekend, right, now it is officially Christmas, now we can start sending Christmas cards. Because overnight, all of a sudden, those brown envelopes and white envelopes that you get, all of a sudden turn into little small Christmas cards.
And I've always thought, like with the parcels, it seems to get earlier every year. But this year, it was quite early.
Yeah.
And you did, all of a sudden, you went from having very little to deliver to, right, Tuesday, there we go, full.
Yeah.
Full of parcels and cards coming through.
Christmas cards, what is your main hate for Christmas cards? What
From a professional speaking?
Yeah.
Well, we get a lot of, not hate, but we get a lot of small cards, don't we?
Oh.
At Christmas. There's a lot that are quite badly addressed. Now, obviously, not everyone knows the addresses, and we do see that.
To Grandad, the cottage,
yeah,
Callington.
But the strange thing is, I would say 9 times out of 10, we probably deliver them. That's the thing. We get to know every year.
We find out that only Grandad in the village, don't we? We deliver his mail.
We do find but that's probably, it's just lots of very small cards, I reckon.
Do you know another one that I don't like?
Right.
It's the red Christmas card.
Oh, yeah.
That somebody's decided to write with red pen or silver pen. And then when you hold up in the light, you cannot read it. It looks like the address turns invisible.
Oh, man. No, you do get a lot of very weird and wonderful addresses come through.
Yeah. So it was nice to be off this weekend, my long weekend. Mm-hmm. And like I said, me and the family, we went on another road trip.
Okay. Road trip.
We got in the car Friday and we drove to Longleat Safari Park, and we drove along the A303 up to Longleat.
You had a good time?
Yeah, well, I had a good time when we got there, but can I just say the A303, the Honiton Road,
This is travel news now.
horrible, mate. What a horrible, horrible road the A303 is.
What, busy or just not nice to drive on?
Well, but it's one of those roads, like the road down the road here, that's 1 minute you're driving along and it's 2 lanes, then it goes into 1 lane, and at night time when you're driving it, the cars are there's just lights in your eyes, and
it can be dangerous. It seems strange, but driving in the dark is just like you're driving into lights, isn't it?
Have you noticed that? I mean, I wear glasses. I'm pretty piss poor eyes. I'm nigh on blind like a mole, right? But have you noticed?
You should like it in the dark. Then.
Have you noticed that the lights are getting ridiculously?
Well, it's not
unbearable
it's
to
not
see.
Just bulbs, is it? It's like LED ones and white lights and ones that are almost blue, and it's
yeah. So, like I said, I drove on that road, the A303, up to Longleat this weekend, and the road, my eyes was that bad. Honestly, I couldn't see in places. So I went to the opticians today.
Right.
I went down to Specsavers, which in itself was an experience. I rung up yesterday and said, look, guys, I know it's a very, very short notice, but I do a lot of driving with work, and I've noticed that my eyes are getting terribly bad at night time and stuff like that. Is there any chance I could pop in tomorrow on my day off if there's a vacancy and come in for a late booking? Have you got any? Oh, yes, Mr. Jeffrey, no problem at all. We've got a vacancy in your local in Saltash for 12:20. Yeah, no problem. So I get in there today, 22 minutes past 12. I said to the lady, I'm very, very sorry. I did get caught up in traffic coming back from Plymouth. I said, is there any, I'm very sorry. Okay, what's the name? She took my name. Oh, we don't seem to have you down here.
Beautiful.
So here we go. They'd only gone and put me in to Plymouth, the office, the place where I just this minute drove from. I did manage to get in and see an optician, and I have bought some new glasses. My eyes have changed a little bit, but I've got some glasses. Pick them up next Monday. But like I said, mate, I had to go and do something because like driving was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
So we got there on Saturday, Longleat.
Yep.
And we started off. First of all, have you been to Longleat Safari Park before?
I have not.
Situated in Longleat.
Yeah.
Is it Wiltshire?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's in a big old estate, isn't it?
Yeah. We went. It's owned by Lord Bath. With
his very colourful waistcoats.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And very eccentric.
If you don't know who he is, if you're not from the UK, get on the internet, type in Longleat Safari Park, and then type in Lord Bath. BATH, Bravo Alpha Tango Hotel, Lord Bath.
10-4.
Just check out his waistcoats because he's a very unusual chap, shall we say?
Yeah, eccentric. He's probably mad. Is the way that
probably mad.
A mad Englishman.
Yeah, but so this dude was it him that decided to build a big safari park on his land, or was it his relatives?
I don't know. I would say he probably had quite a big hand in it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was the first safari park ever to be built outside of Africa, was the Longleat Safari Park. And the first thing we'd done when we got there was took a trip around the safari park, because you can also go into the house. He opens up his house, a massive, big stately home, amazing place. And outside he's got a few attractions and stuff like that. But the first thing we decided to do was have we drove around the safari park. So
you don't want to walk around it.
No. So you get in your car and you literally drive around the whole of the grounds, and there's like monkeys and all that sort of stuff. And last time we went there, right, we drove our car into the monkey pen, and they ripped out all of the sensors on Nikki's car, chewing on the sensors, these little monkeys. So it was a bit. We didn't know whether to go in or not, but Nikki thought, stuff it, I'm due a new car, so if we do any damage, they do any damage. So we drove the car through the monkeys. Ethan, the youngest, loved that because they were on the window, looking in, and he was laughing his head off. Then we went into the lion pen, and I'll tell you what,
right?
No,
they can do some damage.
Well, there's me in the car, and there's this big kick-ass lion walking right at me, looking at me, and you think you do shit yourself.
You didn't go in Shazza, did you?
No, I didn't.
Imagine ripping the top off.
No, Shazza is my VW Golf convertible, which I didn't think was a good idea to go for a lion pen in, Liam.
My God, the monkey's got it.
So we went through him in Nikki's car, and those lions, man, I tell you, they walk along looking at you, and even though you're behind metal, you do still shit it a bit. You think there was a safari program once that Bill, my father-in-law, was telling me about, where a lion did actually try getting into the car. He actually opened up the door, like, you know.
Yeah.
So it does frighten you a little bit. So then we went around the safari park, had an amazing time. If you live in the UK and you haven't had a chance to go to Longleat Safari Park, highly recommend it. Really, really good day out. But over Christmas, Lord Bath, he's got loads of money, a massive great big house. He decides to at the front of the property, he's going to just kit the place out with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of lights, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of lights, shall we say?
Yeah.
And honestly, mate, the lights that was outside this property, you've never seen anything like it. It's almost like a bloke that's trying to do tax dodging, if you know what I mean. What can I spend my bloody money on, to stop the tax man? You've never seen anything like it, man.
No,
the amount of lights.
Insane. Good, though?
Yeah, it was. He kitted it all out like Disney characters. So he'd have like Cinderella, and they'd have like the carriage, and it was all lit up. And get on the internet, check it out. It was absolutely amazing. Really, really did enjoy it. Lord Bath, what an absolute legend. Lord Bath, if you are listening, thank you very much for letting me have a look around your beautiful, beautiful house and check out your lights.
Excellent.
Can you imagine what it must be like, though, Liam, having a house that size? Or being born into money like that?
Yeah, well, I've never... I mean, obviously, they got the safari place, but is it... So it's open as a... They must have most of the houses open, I suppose, to get the revenue to be able to do it up. And, yeah, I know it's strange. So he probably only lives in, like, one little... But it's a big room, isn't it?
No, he lives in the top... I think he lives in the top part of the house upstairs.
That's probably fairly grand as well, isn't it? So
because last time we went there, but he did actually come down. He doesn't come down all the time, but that day he did come down. He was at the front of the house in his big coat,
that must be strange.
And just watching those
live inside a tourist attraction.
Yeah. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Last week I told you about my new phone. I bought a new phone.
Phone news.
Yeah. I bought the Samsung S8, and I've had a week now to go over it. And what an amazing phone. Thoroughly enjoying playing with that one. It's a wonderful phone. It's got so much amazing stuff on it. If you go on YouTube, if you're one of these people that loves watching videos, it's got the most crystal clear screen. You know, the clarity on it is amazing. The sound on it is really, really good. The battery life is fantastic. I think it lasts about 16 hours continuous use. So you've got some good battery time there. All I've been doing over the last few days is playing a bloody snooker game. Okay. I'm addicted. The amount of games that's on it is amazing.
It is. I've just been... Apps and games through the roof. Yeah. Really are.
So I've been playing that. But the one thing I will say about this phone, as amazing and as fantastic and as sexy looking as it is as slippery as a kipper.
Okay.
It is so...
And you're damage prone, famously.
Yeah, I am like butterfingers. Yeah. So today I've been out and I've bought a new phone case. They've got it here in front of me now. And it is if I can't see it, it's brand new. It's a Gear 4 phone case. And it's one of those ones where, how would you describe it, Liam? It's like a wallet phone, isn't it, really?
Yeah, open up.
And it cost me £34 for this phone case.
But then if you spent a bit of money on a phone, it's probably worth having...
Well, the geezer in the phone shop said to me, he says, that is probably the best phone case that you can get because it's got a front on it and a padded side and all that lot. He says, because if you do break that screen and it is not insured, he says the screens for them to replace are about £220.
It's a lot of money.
So I said, well, phone insurance is a bit of a con, these phone insurances, don't you think? I mean, is your phone insured or not?
No. Mind you, I bought mine off my brother for quite a little amount, so... No, I always just assumed if anything happened, I'd probably get it fixed or just get something new. Yeah,
it was £14 a month you pay for phone insurance at a car phone warehouse. And once you've paid the £14, if you damage your phone, you then have to pay an excess for £60.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're paying £14 every month and then all of a sudden your phone breaks and then you've got to pay... I begrudge paying £60. And like the chap says, well, you know, you do realise that any insurance you have to pay an excess. And he says the reason why these companies now doing it is because people were scratching their front screens and stuff like that and thought that warranted getting a new phone. So by putting a £60 excess charge on, you know, people would only get rid of their phone, you know, take the phone back for an insurance claim unless they really, really needed to because, you know, £60, a lot of money.
It is.
But yeah, fantastic phone, Samsung S8. Get out there, check it out. I really, really do strongly recommend it. Never thought that I would want to stray away from HTC, but I am, I keep thinking, I do miss my HTC. He sat there, I'm still using them a little bit, but only because that was my old knackered phone and I didn't want to damage my new phone until I bought a case.
Fair dues.
I'm
the same.
I bought my case today, so I think the HTC is going in the cupboard. Last week we had, I mentioned the Three Cuckoos podcast, remember? And
You did.
I asked you to do for your homework to check it out, which I know that you haven't done. Have you?
No.
I tell you, if I was a teacher and you was my student, you'd be in detention by now.
Every week, I think.
Yeah, we had the Three Cuckoos podcast last week and got in contact with the guys there and featured them in the show. Now, you know what I'm like, Liam, for names and stuff like that. The reason why it's called the Three Cuckoos podcast is because once it started up, there was 3 people in it, okay? And they were called Rob, Tim and Mark. Now, I said that the people that done the podcast was Tim and Mark. No, Rob and Mark. Apologies, it is actually Tim and Rob and not Mark. Okay, so it's not Rob and Mark that I said last week. It is actually Tim and Rob. They are the guys.
That's nice and clear.
Yeah, they're.
Cheers
Are you with me?
Yeah.
You with me? Tim and Rob from the Three Cuckoos podcast. So check that one out. Three Cuckoos podcast. Fantastic. Right, so that's got all that gubbins out of the way.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, mate. Didn't it turn cold this weekend?
Did. And it's supposed to again. Middle of this week, they reckon. Up north in Scotland.
Up north?
Up north.
Ebagum.
They reckon. Could be blizzard, could be some heavy snow. Yeah.
Well, I got a text message from my brother because he's, like me, a southerner, and he met up with a girl called Natalie. Hi, Nat. And they moved up to Sunderland together, and it's his first year up north. And he sent me a text message saying, "Okay, now," he said, "I'm up north living now. Isn't it bloody cold up there?" And I was just sent him a message back like, man up, you southern fairy,
So it does get bloody cold though.
Yeah.
You only have to get up to like one of the big cities or something like that. Freezing.
Well, he said to me that the only way he was keeping warm, he was cold all day. He was having to come home from work every day and getting into a red hot bath. That was the only thing that was warming him up.
Crazy.
Like. Yeah, and he's had snow up there and loads of ice and stuff like that. So all I can say is you're welcome to it. Keep it up there. So
yeah,
the weather. Yeah, apparently they said a couple of weeks ago that this winter is going to be the coldest winter in 27 years. Do we believe the weatherman?
Well, no. I think they've said that pretty much every year, and the same with summer for at least the past 20 years. And one of those times they will be right. Although I think we are due a colder winter. We haven't had anything for quite a few years, have we?
I like
a cold winter. Not slippery, not icy, but cold.
I would like a white Christmas this year.
Just like the ones we used to know.
Yeah. Ethan, my youngest, obviously, this is his first, he's 4 now, and this is his first Christmas where he's now beginning to
remember kind of.
He's now beginning to know what Christmas, he's so excited. And Zach's never seen a white Christmas. It would just be nice. I mean, I'm 40 and I've only ever seen one white Christmas.
See, I've never seen a white Christmas.
No. Over down here in the southwest UK, we never get any snow, do we?
I think I could probably count the times that I've seen snow in my life, so 28 years, probably 3-4 times, and not proper snow, not real, well, heavy for us, and more like a frost for our American and Canadian, listeners. Yeah, and I'd like to see some snow.
Even the penguins in this country don't know what snow is.
No?
I was talking to the chap, the penguin keeper at Longleat, and I just asked him, I said to him,
He's worked with them all.
I said, do penguins in this country, do they what is the worst time of year for them? Is it the winter or the summer? What extremes do they go? So he said, well, they can go up to about 30 degrees before they start panicking.
Panicking.
Right, okay. He
Sure.
He says, and when it gets down to about 5 degrees, he says, then they start, and I'm thinking, hey, penguins?
Yeah.
I thought penguins would be like really, really freezing cold, but these were I think he said they were, I can't remember where they were from, but he said it was a part of the world where it's not really...
Malta, by the sound of it.
Yeah, Maltese penguins, He says, no, they get about 5 degrees. He says, and then around the nose starts going a little bit blue, and he says, then we have to get them in.
Blue.
I'm not sure if they're budgies, budgie penguins or something like that, but he says we have to take them in and keep them warm. How do you keep a penguin warm? This isn't a joke.
I sound like a pick up a penguin joke on the back of a...
How do you keep a penguin warm?
I don't know.
Put him in the bloody microwave.
Hey.
Hey. So...
I don't know why we're northern telling that.
Yeah, why did your voice turn northern when you tell a joke? Hey,
I'm in a flap.
Yeah, we're going to have to crack on, mate. What time is it here now? It's Monday night and it's what, about...
Got to 3 a.m. No.
10 to 8, because we got the Tesco's man coming at 8 o'clock.
Oh, is that our...
Well, Nikki said to me...
That's a cut-off.
Yeah, she says 8 o'clock, the Tesco's man's coming. So what we could do is when he comes, we could pause it and we could invite him in and do the rest of the podcast with us, couldn't we?
Let's see. Yeah.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
He might want to be finishing home.
Tesco's man, come in and do a podcast with us.
I can't. I've got a family, wife and kids.
I bet he's got a few stories to tell.
We'll get him on one week.
Come in, Tesco's man. Yesterday evening was the last evening to see the amazing supermoons. And I don't mean the big fatty next door bending over to put the logs on the fire. They have brightened up the skies around the UK now for about a good old week or so. These are amazing, massive, great big moons in the sky. Have you seen them? Have you seen them, Liam?
I have. I didn't really think that they were any brighter than normal. I mean, they're bright, but yeah.
Well, apparently the moon is at its closest it's been in quite a few years, and it won't be as close to the Earth for about until about 2030 or something like that, is it?
Something like that, I think. But yeah, no, it's quite strange because you do see the moon sometimes and it's real big in the sky or at strange positions.
Yeah.
You're quite low in the sky. But I didn't really... I saw the one where it was the red moon kind of with
that was pretty cool.
Dust where it had blown over.
That was quite... That was freaky, weird.
But that was odd because that was as it was getting dark and it was like a clear night and it just turned the sky completely red, didn't it? And,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't specifically notice anything.
They did say as well that this super moon has been coming out at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon as well. It's like, it comes out really, really early.
Yeah, get started early.
Yeah. Now, what happens if one day the moon was to stop shining?
Right. The tide.
Why does the moon shine?
Well, the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did hear one day that if the sun was to stop shining, as in, it just went out, like the candle got blown out, it would take 10 years before we would notice. Do you reckon that sounds true?
I don't know. I guess for light years away and stuff like that, it would be because most of the stars we see in the sky now don't actually exist and haven't for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So it's strange. It's a weird one to think of.
Also, I saw in the news yesterday, they were talking about, and I didn't see it, I must admit, but if you looked up in the sky, you may have seen blazing fireballs over the UK skies. Now, these were seen all down the East Coast, a couple of places in the Southwest. I saw down Truro and Plymouth people were saying they saw them. Blazing fireballs over the skies. What was that all about? Did you read anything about that?
Yeah. Well, wasn't it? They had quite a few things reported where there was big bright lights seen and they're falling. It was showers, wasn't it? Or meteors.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was that were burning up, but they're big things. But the way they burn up, I mean, it's like a shooting star, really. But the way it burns up and how close it gets to the atmosphere, it is really burning bright. It's like something above you.
I love a party with a happy atmosphere. Did Shooting Stars, can you remember that programme?
I watched it the other night, yeah.
Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. Those two. Rano.
Really want to see those fingers.
That there was a brilliant programme, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They used to have George Dawes on there before he was like done.
I'm a baby.
Little bit, that was it. And also that big chap, what was he called? The one that was drunk all the time.
Oh, they got Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas, and they used to.
They had Mark Lamar on there as well.
I'll tell you that. Was that out in the 90s? Was it?
That was mid-90s, wasn't it?
A fantastic program, really, really funny.
They'd done some good stuff. They did one called House of Fools.
I wasn't too keen on that. I didn't really used to like that.
That was pretty much the same episode over and over and over again. But it was quite funny. They're supposed to be doing some new stuff on the BBC, I think, fairly soon. Yeah, no,
Can,
they're
can you
worth
remember
watching.
that what was it? I always get confused. Was it Reeves? Which was the one that with the glasses? Reeves, wasn't it? Vic Reeves.
Vic Reeves, yeah.
He used to do that that song in a club style, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do
Oh,
a
he did
song
so
here
many.
now and see if you can
Okay.
work out what it is.
Take it away.
You're in the bit to back to the boot with the where the boot
I've got no bloody idea.
Love Shack.
Love Shack.
Oh, where the
That's what he used to do as well. And this is how it should have sounded. He sang it exactly the same.
Something I also read in the news yesterday, and I've got some notes here somewhere if I can find it. Tokyo opening up the first human meat restaurant.
I'm intrigued and disgusted at the same time.
Here it says here, a restaurant in Tokyo, Japan, recently became the first in the world to legally offer human meat to diners. So basically, there's a place in Tokyo that has opened its restaurant doors and it's selling freaking human flesh to eat. Now, is that
the truth?
No. Fake news. A report that a Japanese restaurant would be opening itself to customers to taste in the delicious meat served from humans is fake news.
I should hope so because it's got a picture there.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look? That does look nice, doesn't it?
It looks better now. I know it's fake news. I'll be honest with you.
You know, if that was on your plate, I mean, that looks like a nice lump of steak. But I mean, if you was to eat human, right, that'd be like a pork. It wouldn't be steak, would it?
Hmm.
Would you eat a bit of?
You thought this through far too much.
If you was to eat
Right.
a part of a human, what part of a human would you eat? What part of a human would you eat?
Well, whatever I say now is going to sound bad, isn't it? It might be the liver or the kidneys.
About a bit of butt, because that would be like I would have thought that would be the tastiest bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, go with the tender bit.
Yeah.
The ribs.
Time for some music here now. I'm going to tell you the name of the band. We're going to play a bit of music, and then when we come back in a minute, I shall tell you a little bit more about them.
I know what you're afraid of. I can see it in your eyes, asking all these questions, leaving in disguise. When I found your figure at the crater by the lake, everything was brought up, memories escaped. From a corner window at the cafe by the lake, memories were brought on, everything was fake. When I found your figure at the cafe by the lake, everything was broken. Everything is fake.
A very special thank you there to Scott for getting in contact with me and sending me in 3 stunning EPs from the Kerosene Stars. Kerosene Stars are an American rock outfit from Chicago. The band consists of Scott on bass and vocals, Andy's on the guitar and the backing vocals, Todd is also on the guitar, Jim on the drums, and Tom on percussion. Now, the song I just played for you was my favourite from the 3 EPs that they sent me. It was called By the Lake, and it was taken from their EP called The Lost EP. Now, if you want to find out more about Kerosene Stars, you can look them up at Twitter, at Kerosene Stars. You can find them on their webpage, kerosenestars.com. And on that beautiful webpage there, they have 3 EPs consisting of 11 songs in total that you can preview or even download. So please go over there, kerosenestars.com, and check them out. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. We can start singing Christmas songs now.
I think it is officially Christmas time.
We bought our Christmas tree yesterday.
Yeah?
I went down to the local, not news agents, because you wouldn't buy it from
Did you get it at the news agents?
No, I didn't. I bought it from the...
Can I have a pack of Marlboro Light and a Christmas tree, please?
And I bought... no, it's from the local nursery, as in, like, you know, where you buy
not
plants,
with the kids.
not with kids there.
Have a nice day, Timmy.
Can I have a Christmas
Can I have a tree?
No, I went there and bought this Christmas tree. Now, every year we go and buy a Christmas tree from there. And every time we buy a Christmas tree that's too freaking tall. Now, the average English house, I would say, was about 6 foot, about 7 foot tall.
Something like that, yeah.
And we always end up buying a 7.5 foot Christmas tree and then, like, can't get it in the bloody house.
Bloody hell.
So this year we bought a 5.5, 6 foot tree.
It's too small.
And no, it fitted in a tree. Really, really nice. I'll take you upstairs a minute and show you. It's really, really looking nice.
All right.
And it's quite amazing, really, because, you know, you buy these Christmas trees and there's these 4 young lads and they come over and they say, hello, sir, what would you like to buy? So I'll have that Christmas tree, that one over there. And they go over there and they pick the tree up and then they push it through this, like, net machine. Have you seen them do it? It just looks like
it's like the small version of the wrapping things.
Yeah, that's right.
Ham and stuff at the supermarket.
They push this like ham Christmas tree through into the netting and they pull it out and then they snip the end and tie it, and there you are. You've got this big Christmas tree, and they're like, "Would you like us to carry it to your car, sir?" And it's just like, "No, I can do that. Take it out to my car every year." And I'm like, "Frickin' hell! How the hell am I going to get this in the car?" And realise that this year I did actually have a missus and 2 kids that was in the car with us as well.
Yeah, that's not great because you need both seats down, do you?
Yeah.
At least.
So lucky for some, I had Shazza with me, my Golf convertible.
Oh,
so and again this year, if you ever want to get your Christmas tree home, buy a convertible just for Christmas because they are fantastic things.
It's like the start of an American Christmas film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like driving home for Christmas.
Driving home for Christmas. I whack a roof down on my convertible and I had this Christmas tree stuck up in the air, and the amount of people that are laughing at you when you're driving home. I love it. I'm like driving along with my woolly hat on.
Like Mr. Bean swearing at you.
Waving to all these people that are laughing at me with Christmas tree flapping in the wind. But we got him home. We got the Christmas tree home. I put it up, and it's really looking nice up there. Really, really looking nice. And do you know how many, when you buy your tree, you don't buy a tree, do you? You have an artificial tree.
No, we do have a artificial.
Well, I've got a few little boring facts here because I thought, it'd be nice every week now up to Christmas if we said a few little interesting facts about Christmas, don't you think? So we're going to talk about a little bit about Christmas trees now. I've got a few little interesting facts on Christmas trees in front of me. Did you know 7 million people in the UK, right, buy real trees every year?
I didn't. That's a lot more than I would have assumed.
Right. And they buy a typical 6 to 7 foot tree. That's on average what people buy, a 6 to 7 foot Christmas tree.
Fair enough.
And did you know, how long would you say, a 6 to 7 foot Christmas tree, how many years would you say it would take for that Christmas tree to get, as planted as a seedling, or how many years would you say it would take before it gets to 6 to 7 foot?
I'm going to say, I want to be wrong either way, but I'm going to say 10 years.
Ding! Correct. I don't know if you just read the screen.
No, I didn't.
A typical 6 to 7 foot high Christmas tree is between 10 and 12 years old when cut down.
So they've got to plant a hell of a lot of trees just to keep up with.
Yeah. The most popular varieties are, what would you say? You know anything about Christmas trees?
Not really. Pineapple.
No. Now, have a look at the screen. A Norman fir, is it? Nordman fir. Nordmann fir. A Nordman fir, and it says it is a dark green foliage with soft leaves with good needle retention. So that sounds like
Sound like M&S advert. It's not just any Norman fir.
Or you could buy a Norway spruce. Often regarded as the traditional tree, it is usually a tidy pyramid shape with a typical Christmas tree smell.
Excellent.
Yeah? So that's the Norway spruce. Quite a popular one, I think, that one there.
I think the spruce is.
Yeah. A blue spruce. You got a blue spruce. It sounds like a...
He used to be on Strictly Come Dancing, didn't he?
It's elegant with natural blue foliage.
Oh.
Yes. Then you've got the Fraser Fir. A freaking Fraser Fir.
Fraser.
That is leaner in shape with much denser foliage and a lovely balsam fragrance. What's a balsam fragrance? Sounds like a vinegary flavour, doesn't it? Now, the BCTGA, whatever that is.
That was touring car, wasn't it?
Well, I would, at a guesstimation, say that it's the British Christmas Tree. What would the GA? Or it's got to be organisation.
Growers Association.
Growers Association, yeah.
Maybe.
British Christmas Trees Growers Association. That's what we're going to call it today on the Mark Jeffrey podcast show. Estimate about 80% of the trees sold are Nordman fir, around 10 to 15% are Norway spruce, and the remainder are lesser known varieties. So there you are.
Okay.
The one that we got was the Nordman fir. So, like I say, Nordman fir, those are the ones that about 80% of trees are sold in the UK now.
Okay.
Now, how do I know if I'm choosing a fresh Christmas tree? How would you know?
I suppose the feel of his needles.
Well, this is what the British Touring Car Association had to say about it. A fresh tree will have a healthy green appearance with few browning needles. Needles should be flexible and not fall out of a branch. So if you run your hand along a branch, it shouldn't fall out. Raise the tree a few inches off the ground and drop it onto the butt end, right? Very few green needles should drop off the tree, but it is normal for a few inner brown needles to drop off.
Isn't this a lot of faff?
Hey?
Is this a bit of a fuss?
No,
a bit of a faff?
So when you go
do you enjoy this?
When you go and buy your Christmas tree, the first thing you're supposed to do, pick up the Christmas tree, drop it on the butt end, and if all the needles fall off, don't go there.
I tell you what I do every year. I take it out of the attic.
Stick it up, job's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. You've got your Christmas tree, you've had your Christmas tree, you've had your Christmas, you've opened up your presents, and then it comes to the new year when you've got that Christmas tree in your front room, pine needles everywhere. Where do they go when you finish with them? That poor Christmas tree.
You set fire to them. No, I know a lot of councils and a lot of organisations now actually will come round and pick them up.
Yeah.
A lot of councils I know our local council. You can put them out. It's a ridiculous time after. It's about 2 months after.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're all brown and skanky.
Put them out and you look out the next day and find they've missed it and you're stuck with a bugger for the next year.
And you've got hedgehogs mating on your front drive where they've been hiding under there for about a month.
I guess some you can replant, can't you? Some people do.
Well, what generally happens when the council pick them up is they take them away and shred them. Now, the trees have a useful life after they have been shredded. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Van loads of the chippings are taken up to a nearby depot where they are left to rot for months. Then it goes back to the beds, like those rose beds over there, over the road, and then mixed up with other tree waste and worked in as weed suppressant. And that's, do you know who says that?
Alan Tishmarsh?
Chappie, whoever Chappie is.
Oh, Chappie from the GTBBBA says CC.
Yeah, from the British Touring Car Organisation. Chappie says that's what they do afterwards.
Okay.
So it's nice to know that after, you've been out and spent £35-40 on your Christmas tree and it's shed its load on your front room and you've chucked it outside after Christmas and it's shredded up.
Sap everywhere.
Yeah, it has a nice life on the bed of roses.
Yeah. No, at least it's being recycled and they're replanting things.
Yeah.
Now
there is another where it can't be a good life being a Christmas tree. They got they last about 10-12 years before they're shredded, but what could be worse is if you was a turkey. Imagine being a turkey.
Wow, yeah.
Now, why do we eat Christmas turkeys? Did you know that?
Well,
I'm asking you a question. I don't know the answer. Why do we eat turkeys?
Always thought, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, that it was going back to the American thing of Thanksgiving when they had a turkey for Thanksgiving, or the first Thanksgiving was shared amongst between the Native Americans and the people that had landed in America.
Right.
So I thought it was to do with that. It might be less traditional and just because we had turkeys around in this country.
I don't know.
But
why
I don't
it is.
know.
Yeah. Well, a staggering 87% of people in the UK believe Christmas would not be Christmas without the traditional roast turkey at the table. Are you one of those people, Liam? Do you like to gobble on a bit of turkey?
I am, and we didn't used to be. Our family didn't used to. We didn't hate it, but we didn't really. It wasn't something we used to have like beef or nice beef steaks or Aberdeen Angus or something like that. But now we do actually have turkey.
Yeah,
I do like it.
I've never been a lover of turkey. We don't buy a turkey.
We actually
like
have the crown.
A crown,
Yeah,
and it's normally got
better.
like a real nice stuffing or something inside.
But you're able to cut it, and most of it is turkey.
Yeah.
So there's none of the having to cut it around the bones.
You need giblets in your mouth. Awful. Now, a staggering, we've already said that, haven't we? A staggering 80% of the people in the UK would not be without a traditional roast turkey at Christmas. Last Christmas saw the UK consuming approximately 10 million turkeys.
10 million?
10 million turkeys.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That's a lot of turkeys, isn't it?
A lot of dinners.
Now, back in the 1930s, right, when, I was a wee lad, the average person had to work for a week to be able to buy a turkey. Now, it only takes 1.7 hours of labour to buy a turkey.
That's good, isn't it? So think of all the turkeys you can have.
Yeah.
If you spend all of the money you earn on turkeys.
Yeah.
Is that what you do? Turkey money.
Well, I don't know what to say about that.
You've got to spend it somehow, haven't you? Another drink or turkey.
I'd like to buy a turkey and have it in the garden,
And kill it. Christmas morning.
Yeah. Hello, turkey. Happy Christmas. Would you wring its neck first before you shot it?
I think you can wring its neck. You haven't got to buy a gun. Who's bought a gun?
I saw Father Christmas up at Longleat on Saturday.
I don't know where this is going.
Father Christmas. Did you call him Father Christmas as a little kid, or did you call him Santa?
Well, being the British that I am, I called him Father Christmas.
Same here. But a lot more kids now call him Santa.
Yeah, that's American.
Yeah?
It's American. It's an American.
Is it American? I thought that
Actually,
Santa Claus was
it is.
German. I thought it was like Santa Claus or something like that.
Yeah,
It's German or something.
I
isn't
think
it?
it has got. Yeah, but I think most of the view of Santa is predominantly American, isn't it?
Comes from Coca-Cola adverts or something.
It's a big marketing thing because
Wasn't he
that might be a myth. It might be one of them things that's always said about. I don't know, to be honest with you.
This is what we could do with Jeffrey because he's knowledgeable on that sort of thing.
He likes.
I think Santa Claus originally was a German woodsman or something, wasn't he? Who used to work in the
Marketing
forest
salesman
or something like that. But the Americans got hold of him and put Coca-Cola advertising on him and changed him from green to red, I do believe, if that's what sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to market him, and that's the reason why Father Christmas or Santa, whatever you want to call him, went from green to red. But the question I'm going to ask you now, is it right in a society when we tell our children and we grow up with our children and we tell them to tell the truth, is it right that we should lie to our children, telling them that there is a Santa Claus and a fairy, the tooth fairy and all that? Is it right that we should be lying to our children
Easter
like
bunny
this?
and all stuff like that? Yeah, because it's not a bad lie, is it? It's not something that's going to see them.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but they find out eventually anyway, don't they?
Would you let any Tom, Dick and Harry come into your children's room at Christmas at night time? I used to be shit scared of Santa coming into my room.
You say it like it's...
Jimmy Savile.
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Rolf Harris walking in.
All right, kids. Yeah. And
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but no, is it right that we should be telling our children?
I think so, because it's innocent stuff, isn't it? I think everyone grows up thinking that. I think you've got to be pretty hard and cold as a parent to sit down like a 4 or 5 year old or have them grow up not believing in any of this. It's just the magic of being a child, really, isn't it?
At what age should we tell our children that Santa doesn't exist?
2.5. No. I don't know. Whenever they figure it out. They figure it out when they get old enough to realise it's you doing it anyway, don't they?
And this podcast is primarily designed for people the same age, but between 20 and 50. So my apologies if there is somebody listening now that's between the ages of 20 and 30 and do still believe in Father Christmas.
You can still...
It is real, really,
You can
honestly.
still like the magic of Christmas. Yeah. If you believe...
Now, talking of magic, right then...
Dessert.
Did you see in the week, I think it was Saturday, that they gave out the draw for the Russian 2018 World Cup to be held next summer? Did you see that?
I didn't, to be honest with you, but I would like to hear about it.
Yeah, well, they had the draw for the Russia 2018. England were in Group G, I do believe, and they were drawn. Their opening game to the campaign was against Tunisia. Which is nice, a real good start. Then they had the next game is to be played against Panama, I think it is.
Okay.
The Mild Cigar football team. And then the last game in the group stages is against Belgium.
La Belgique.
So there's honestly, out of the groups that they could have been in, to be drawn against Tunisia, I was going to say Panorama, Panama and Belgium. It ain't a bad draw, to be honest with you. If we can get a draw against Belgium and beat Tunisia and Panama, that's a good, 7 points there. That would put us top of the lead.
I think we've done all right out of it, really, haven't we?
Can England go on and win the World Cup?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, pointless saying yes, isn't it? Because we always know when they get to a big championship, whether it's the World Cup or the Euros, they never deliver, really, do they?
I'm going to be very optimistic this year, and I'm going to say that I think that we can get out of the group stages and get to at least the quarterfinals. And I think if we got to the quarterfinals, I think if we can get to the quarterfinals, then we've achieved something better than the last campaign, the last World Cup.
We could do all right.
Yeah.
It's promising. A lot of the stuff that England do is promising. It's just they've got to be consistent, haven't they?
Yeah. Liam's news of the world. What have you managed to find anything? Because when I picked you up about an hour or so ago, you hadn't prepared or nothing because you was too busy down the pub. But have you got anything for us there, Liam?
I've been looking to try and find something a bit lighter, and not quite a horrible or heavy news story but I see one of the news stories here is there is a Mexico avocado police, or this is the nickname they're being given.
You what?
But they are actually proper full-time police officers. And if you enjoy an avocado, it's likely to come from Mexico, and that is the world's biggest producer of the green fruit. But as demand for avocados has soared in places like America and Europe, industry has become lucrative, and it's become a crime-ridden kind of growing thing. So I don't know. I don't know what to compare it to over here, but it's like something like truffles, or that they look for, like in Italy and things like that, where there are criminals and there are thefts. And it says here, and in the heart of Mexico's avocado plantations, some producers have wrestled control back from the criminals. So it's proper gang warfare with avocados.
I'll tell you, mate, I'm trying to sound interested here.
Avocado police, everybody.
I'm trying to understand what you're coming from, but I haven't got a clue.
Be like
what
the
you're
bill.
talking about.
No, well, I think there's thefts and gangs and crime brought about because avocados are really popular and expensive.
Let's play some music. Here's the new release from Brian Mason, and after that I'll tell you a little bit about the song, and Liam will then talk to us about his topic of the week. So there we have it. Something very different there, don't you think? It's not often that I play songs primarily guitar and no vocals, but I thought that you'd like that one. I hope you did. And again, it was sent in directly to me via email from an artist that goes by the name of Benjamin Mason. He said, Mark, I am re-releasing an album on Recordo Prin. I hope I got that one right, in January, and was wondering if you'd be interested in giving it a spin. So I downloaded the album in question called Dogs and Ya and very much enjoyed it. Now, it consists of 12 wonderful tracks, very simple, very beautiful, very enjoyable, but you can tell that there's a lot of time and effort that went into producing that little gem. Now, the album comes out on the 17th of the 1st, 2018, and the song I just played for you was called Cold Winter at Woodstock Farm. Now, for more info on Benjamin's work, please check him out. He's on twitter.com/Ben Mason Music. You can also check him out on soundcloud.com/Benjamin/Mason, and you can check him out on facebook.com/Ben Mason Sounds. Now, don't worry if you didn't get any of those links. They are on my show notes at jaff10.simplesite.com. And there you go. Please get over there and check that one out. And like I said, if you're a band or an artist, please feel free to get in contact with me. Send me in all your material at jaff10@hotmail.com, and I'll do my very, very best to get you out on the next episode. Anyway, that was a nice tune, wasn't it? Did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, I did, mate.
You did. What have you got for us then, mate? What are you talking about? What's Liam's topic of the week?
Well, a lot more recently, especially in the UK, I've noticed people using mobile telephones whilst they're driving.
Ooh, I know a little bit about this.
And, quite obviously, quite openly using mobile phones while
driving. It annoys me.
To the point where it does, because you know that it is very difficult at the best of times, I always think, to be in a car and have either people talking around you whilst you're in the car or the radio on or something like that quite loud. So to have actually one hand or even hands-free, I think, is just as much a nuisance.
And putting your lipstick on and stuff like that as well. Do you find that?
Yeah, putting your lipsticks on. Yeah, I find that particularly painful. But yeah.
Squeezing spots.
Looking at maps while and you've seen pictures before of people with whole meals laid out, or even TVs in the. Now, what are people's views on this? Should there be tougher fines, and should actually people just lose their license?
Yeah,
if they're caught, because I think that's the only deterrent, because of the number of people that are maimed, killed every day. There's people killed because. Especially texting. I can't imagine having a phone, even with a big screen, down low and looking and actually texting while you're driving as well.
Who are the worst culprits for it, would you say? Male or female? Who do you see when you're out on your rounds? Who do you see the most? Because I do think it's possibly males.
Yeah, but I think it's more. They always say it's more an age range as well, isn't it? I would say it's between the younger ones who are just about able to drive, have recently passed, and probably right the way up to like 30s, mid-30s.
Can you do it though? Can you text and drive? I mean,
I've never tried.
No, but what I'm saying is don't obviously at home, don't try it, but can you sit there with your phone to the left of you and text with your left hand or your right hand without looking at the screen? Because I can't do it. Nikki's sister, she's amazing at texting without looking at the screen. She'll be talking to you like this and she'll be texting.
I'm bad enough when I'm walking down the street texting and actually walking and keeping hold of what I'm...
Now, I did see something the other day. Actually, I actually heard it on the radio coming home yesterday. That I don't know which company it is. I think it's the iPhone, the new iPhone or something. There's a thing now that they can tell whether you're travelling. So if you're travelling in a car, they can tell whether you're travelling in the car, and it will stop your phone from texting.
And I think technology is going to have to deal with this problem, like it has a lot of things. But for a lot of people, just putting your phone in the boot or locking it away isn't enough. And you hear it make a noise. I mean, we've all done it. You've got it in your pocket, you're driving, you hear it make a noise. A lot of people are tempted just to take the phone out, have a look. But you could kill yourself or your family or other people. It's not worth it.
And the first thing they would do, when you get in an accident, the first thing they would do, they would take your phone away and they will see when you last text and if you was driving with that. They will know if you're driving.
Doesn't matter what state your phone's in, because of the signals it receives and things like that. It'll know when it stopped. It'll know when you sent the message, who you text. They'll check all of that.
Yeah.
It's just there's no way of getting away with it now.
A good time to bring that one up, Liam, because everybody goes on about drink driving at Christmas, and I never condone that.
It's a mix of everything.
But at the same time, do not text and drive, because it's coming to that time of year where we want to spend time with our loved ones and our family and that. We don't want to lose one of our loved ones just because it's stupid, because you want to send a text message saying, darling, I'm going to be late home from work for 10 minutes, and text her. Don't do it.
Yeah, no.
Put your phone on the back seat, in the boot, whatnot.
Or take the battery out. Do anything
Turn it
to
off.
stop you.
Just do not use your phone. Thank you very much for that, Liam.
Stay safe, people.
Thank you very much for coming in this week and being half cut and coming on here. But
I'm not half cut.
Next week we have got Rosalind Birch. She's a local artist, as in musical artist here in Plymouth in Southwest UK. She used to be in a band. Now she's by herself. She plays the piano. She's a fantastic young lady. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a good one, having her in next week.
I look forward
really
to it,
interesting. That she's on there next week, episode 40. That will be. So yes, come in and download that one. Episode 40 next week. Thanks, Liam.
No, you're welcome, sir.
Any
Thank
last
you.
words?
Stay safe out there, people.
Don't text. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives to listen to episode 39. You can get in contact with me, Jaff10 at hotmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at Mr. Jaff10. We're on Facebook, the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, and check out all of the links to tonight's music and guests by finding at my webpage, www.jaff10.simplesite.com. Please check out and subscribe to the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show on iTunes. And while you're there, Liam?
Yeah. No, I think I've remembered it because I double bluffed myself. Leave some feedback.
Well done, mate. Well done. Christmas bonus in the post for you.
I got it right.
Until next time, look after yourselves and those around you. Treat others as you wish to be treated yourself. And remember, your life may not be as crazy as you once thought it was.
The Marc Jeffrey Podcast is part of Britpod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritpodScene.com or follow Britpod Scene on Twitter to find out more.